Well, hello. I am back much later than I anticipated. I was planning on shooting this video, 10 hours ago. Maybe not that long, but a significant amount of hours ago, right after I shot the mail call video. I was going to launch myself into this project. And then I got slammed by a migraine. So I've just re-energized in the evening and I'm going to finish it. I'll finish it, but let me start my project. And really this is pretty much finishing the project. What I am doing is I'm doing the Valentine swap with Vianney Creates. And all I need to do are create, I've already cut out all of my ephemera and I'll share that all with you just like I did the last one. But I just wanted to share the making of the folder. Not that I haven't done this before. I'll have another video and I will link it together with this one just to see it. But because I wanted to do it a little differently this time, because of the paper I was using, mainly because usually when I've done the other ones, it's been with 12 by 12. But I was kind of like, okay, we're going to really use paper I have as opposed to go out and get paper. I knew the paper I wanted to use. The problem is that what the paper I wanted to use was this. And it was with love. I got this last year from Frank Garcia from Prima. It's his paper. But it is 8 by 8. So there was no me making this work. So I realized, okay, I can just, frame my folders. So I was going to make my folders in solid color and then frame it. Just do something different. So sometimes when what I'm trying to say and do by this is to show you that when you want to do something and you see a challenge, don't let it define you or defeat you. Figure out a way, get out of your comfort zone. So what I decided is, okay, so I'm just going to create my folder. And here it is, out of white cardstock, and then I will just mount the layers on it. And there we go, one and done. And then I found, it took me a while to find 12 by 12 white, but I thought it for a second. I go, okay, I have a ton, or had a ton, of 8.5 by 11. So this is literally what I have left now of what I was using to make, and just because this is my cardstock, this is what I use for bases. I'm going to toss this bag away out of one of these packages, but me being always the one that buys ahead, I have another package here already ready to break out, and it's going to go with me to my mother's, or my sister's rather, because I'll be doing stuff over there. I plan on working on projects and shooting video from there. But I challenged myself. So, okay, but wait a minute. What if I couldn't find my 12 by 12 white paper, or name your color? How could I make 8.5 by 11 do what I wanted it to do to make this folder? So I decided to challenge myself and see, the point of me showing you this is when you want to do something, there's more than one way to skin a cat. Don't let yourself be defeated by, okay, now I got to go out and get more paper. No, it is another Crosby, Stills, and Nash moment. If you don't have what you love what you got. So here it is. I'm like, okay, and I do have 12 by 12. Don't get me wrong, I do, but I decided let's use up some of this paper because it's like, it is cheaper. And it's a couple of more cuts. Don't get me wrong, it's a couple of more cuts, but not that many. But because of the way I make my folders, I make them differently than how Vianney does, and that's just because I march to the beat of a different drummer. So let me go. Remember very quickly, I'm going to take you through just the cutting of this. I'm going to show you how I cut the pieces out. And then because I've already got others already pre-cut and ready, this is the only one I have assembled. But I wanted to show, actually, no, I have all of them assembled. Let me take it back because I have to make 5 of them. I assembled all the rest, but I wanted you to take you through one, okay? So we're going to grab this paper. Let me grab my cutter real quick. So what I do know is that I needed my dimensions for this for 7.5 this way by 11 this way. So all I have to do, since I already know my paper is 8.5 by 11, literally all I have to do is cut 1 inch off of this sheet of paper, and I'm ready to rock and roll for the folder. That is all I have to do, and we'll set that aside. Now for the pockets, it's a little bit of a different ball of wax. Those dimensions, let me grab my little booklet. It is, I need to make the folder pockets. I need 2 pieces, 5 3/8 wide by 3 3/4 deep. So and I have this paper. I'm not going to sweat the extra or the wastage, however you want to do it. I'm just going to cut I'm going to make 2 cuts at 3 3/4. right here using my trusty Caterpillar. And then I'm going to go 5 3/8. Let me double check. You know, remember, measure twice, cut once. Hopefully. It does, you know, in theory, but remember, I am the MaddScrapper. But here's one. Let's set that aside. And then come on. I have my second. So 5 3/8. And that's it. I have my folder. I have these little scraps. And you guys, I have a little scrap bin here to my left. I just slide it in there, and I have a ton, and I still have one piece of paper, the precious. And I'm just going to add it. When I open up that packet, I'll just slide it back in. But I am now done with cutting. All I have to do now is go ahead and score. It's all about, you know, channeling my inner soccer player and score. You know I was going to go there, right? Let me grab my trusty favorite bowl for scoring. I love this bone folder. And this, my Caterpillar comes with its own tool. If I can get this open. Yep. With its little tool. And I don't like it. It's just, I'm not going to say it's bad or anything. I just don't like it. I am used to this folder that I have, bone folder that I must have had. I've had this thing for, gosh, I've been scrapbooking since 2008. So this is one of the first tools. So yeah, do the math. I don't want to. I don't do math. But anyway, to do this for the folder, I now have to score. So I have 3 scores. 1/2 inch on each side. Because I do it this way just because I leave these here. If you notice, here I leave this all in because this reinforces the, oh my goodness, it reinforces the folder. So I have decidedly done that on purpose. And then now I need 1/2 inch on the other side. I'll do that, and then 1/2 inch across the top. We'll go all the way across, and then, and I should have done it when I had it turned the other way but I'm a dingleberry, so there you go. 5 1/2 in the middle, because that's going to be my middle fold. And that is the all of the scoring you have to do for the main folder. Now for the 2 pockets, they both for sure have a fold at the bottom. So it's 1/2 inch on the bottom of both of these, and this is where I have to be careful and pay attention while I'm talking, because I didn't when I did the first one, and then I ended up with 2 pockets from the same side. That didn't work, so I had to, not that I mean I used it because I just, you know, cut then 2 pockets in the other direction. So now I need this one will go this way because I just need a fold, and this will be the pocket on this side. You see, because this is where my folds are, on this side. And now for the pocket on this side, I need to turn it the other way so that my score is in the opposite direction. And we'll just get that score done. Right, there's this quickie. And then that one will go, there you go, on this side. So now that's all the scoring. This is like a quickie. This comes together real quick. And I will put my scoreboard away. Come on, scoreboard. Go, 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 go. All right. We'll put that away. Now, the only thing before I start folding is I will trim away. I miter these corners out. So let me see, where's my Timmy scissors? I like doing it with my Timmy scissors, my Tim Holtz's. So all I do, and it's been this time around, I goofed 2 of them out. Usually I'm pretty good at being spot on, or I have to trim back. So you want to cut right at the joint, but don't go too far in or you lose that crisp point. It's better to be a little bit this side and then have to trim it more than to go over, because there's no fixing it then. And then what I also do is, I don't have the miter there because I'm cutting them off. I'll show you in a minute what else I have to do. Here, it's the same thing. So we're going to miter these 2 corners real quick. And actually, and these 2, I miter here at the top. And then I miter here as well, just a little bit, so when we put things in, it doesn't snag at all on these pockets. And then I'm going to do the same thing. Let's set this aside. I'm going to do the same thing on this side for this folder. And there we go. And my computer's talking to me. I wonder what it's saying. Okay. More messages. Oh my goodness. It's very talkative suddenly. It's been quiet for forever. I am editing. Actually, I'm not. I'm rendering video while I am talking to you guys. And is there a mark there? Let me see. Is that a pencil mark? Let's find out. It's a pencil mark. I don't know what happened. But nothing that an eraser will not solve. Now I am ready to do all of my folding. So, I mean, I can start with the pockets. It doesn't much matter which order. There's no real, particular order. But this is, see, I can already tell I'm going to run into trouble. See, this one, they overlapping. You don't want to do that because it creates bulk. So now, and this is okay. I'd rather go back in and trim, a millimeter off. And see, that was all it took, was a little tiny bit. I would rather come in and have to go back and trim more than to over trim because it kind of blunts. And I had a couple of them. I was not doing good with the other ones. I don't know what was wrong. I was off my game. And now we're going to fold this in half. We're going to do the middle fold first because it helps me align everything, straighten it out. There we go. And sometimes, no matter what, it's like, I don't know why I can't seem to. Maybe if I, paid attention to what I was doing, who knows? And there we go. That should be good. And then I'm going to come in and I'm going to go ahead and do my little miter cut. So I do, if you saw the other one, right here, just because it creates bulk right here. So I'm going to come in and take a snip this way and a snip this way. There we go. So when I fold it down, now we're going to do the same thing we did for the pockets. Let me do a test just with my hands, my fingers like this one. I've got the same problem. I've got to trim off a little tiny bit because it's overlapping. So we're going to do that little bit and see. And see, this is all I took off. It was a tiny little bit. And it should not do it. I think I still have to take, and it's eyeballing. Again, I'd rather go back and forth 2 or 3 times and do it this way than trim too much off. So I took another little tiny itty bit. That's it. That is it. That did it. I would most assuredly, a million times over, rather do that than to end up with a bad corner. I mean, and all of them look good, but I really had to work here with the bone folders to pull. I had to pull the paper in. So it's not fun because you run the risk of tearing the paper or making it just ugly. So if you can avoid it at all costs, do so. So like I said, it's better this way than to overcut because it's just a longer process. I mean, no matter what, you can fit. It's more for the worst case scenario is you got to cut it all over again. Let's put it that way. And you saw I did this in 5 minutes, if that. So it's not like, oh my gosh, the end of the world. Here we go. I got to trim this one too. But let's at the same time, let's try not to waste paper here. It just is. Okay. So see now, like I said, on the other paper, this paper I use for my car, any of these bases, I'm opening up a new package. So that means that next week I'll be, I can't remember now. I've lost track now. So I have to check if this is 50% off paper week or is it die week at Hobby Lobby. But it's not like it's a crisis. I still have. I mean, I'm just busting that package open. But I like when I open one, I like to start, putting in my mind, I've got to buy the backup. I got to buy the next one so that I don't, in the middle of anything, run out of paper. Although that is my entire exercise in showing you how to do this with 8.5 by 11, because we tend to have a lot of that and maybe not always 12 by 12. So, and, excuse me, because I use this to adapt the plan. There we go. So now it is perfectly, all of this is put together. All I need to do now is if I put this, I mean, I'm ready to glue, quite frankly, but if I do it the way it is right now, I have extra bulk right here. And haven't we just been trying to do all of this rigmarole 2D bulk? So this is where I take a moment. I line up my pocket. I started doing it automatically without explaining to you what I'm doing. So let me back up a second. So I take my pocket, I line it up, I lay it up the way it's going to go when I glue it. And then I just draw a really light, pencil line there. And I'll take this pocket and I'll do the same thing on this side. Do a little pot, just a little, I'll pale little line there, just a little light line so I can see it. And then what I'm going to do is the same thing as I did in the top. I'm going to take a snip, but a snip with a bit of a twist. So there we go. Go this way, and we're going to go there. And now we're going to go here and here. So we're taking little carrots out, basically what we're doing. And then now what I'm going to do, and these will again be laid out, I'll glue these down in a minute, I am cutting these tabs away. Now hang on a second because I need to go pull. I will use, the way to do it, my easy way is with this. I have my magnetic ruler to this has gone AWOL, so I'm going to go into the overflow and grab another one that I have. So give me 1 second. Okay, I am back from finding this. I had to go into my rolling portable, as I call it, scrap room, which I've brought in from the garage, because it lives there right now, because I don't actively use it. I haven't been going to a crop in forever. But since I'm going to my sister's tomorrow, I'm going to be there for a week, I will pack that with everything, because I'll be doing more stuff than, you know, just like a single project or something like that. So anyway, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, because this is magnetic, as is the ruler. See, the ruler has a magnet. This will help me to cut a straighter line. I scissored the first one, and I was not really happy with my results. And when I went and did it this way with a craft knife, I did a much straighter, nicer. So all I do, and I put a new blade in here. I just go, I don't even press down hard on it. I am just, you know, putting minimal pressure. And I would rather, again, see, it took me 4 cuts. And I got it cut. And a perfect, you can almost see the difference. I mean, there's a little smudge right there. So how do we fix it? The nail file. And there we go. I mean, it's good to go. Now we'll come over here. And we'll do the same thing with this side. I'm just going to line up. And this is really a really good magnet. It's a really strong magnet. So I will just line it up here. There we go. Okay, let me straighten out my ring. Why? Like it's such an important thing to do. And all I'm going to do the same thing again. Let me try to get my hand and not cast a shadow. And just repeatedly, and just by, you know, and of course it helps that I just put a new blade. There we go. So I've cut away my 2 pieces. And this one I do have a little, I mean, the tiniest. I mean, because I know what I'm looking for. I see it. You know, you might, nobody else might see it because they're not looking for it. So let me just snap I have a suspicion if I go back, I keep this to my right here in a cubby. And I don't know where the ruler is. I'm wondering if I go to the bottom of the floor, it might have, for whatever reason, fallen out. I don't know. Who knows? This is me we're talking about, right? And now I'm going to grab my Barely Art. I'm wondering if there really was a point to me using this little lid. Because actually, I wasn't thinking when I put it away. Because the point was to not always have to have a pin in it. Because pins fall out. There we go. So it got a little clogged anyway. But now all I'm going to do is start now gluing down these sides. Okay, I'm ready to glue this down, and I'm going to try not to make the mistakes I was continuously making when I was doing the other folders, is that I wanted to add a little bit. I've been usually on the other folders using a die or something like that. I wanted to do something different. I didn't want to go as fancy. I wanted to give it a kind of a distressy look. So I came back to, I haven't used this in a while, and I have it there. It's like, hello. So what I decided to do is I'm going to decal. So you got to do this before you glue it down. On a couple of them, I started to glue them down and I remembered like, oh crud. So you will see, like on the sample I was showing you, and I'll admit to my errors, guys, okay? I did the top, and then once I had this glued down, there was no way of doing this, so only the top is deckled. I think one of them, and now this one, will be done correctly. Just for the heck of it. So I just want to bring it in a little bit, and then hold it down, and there we go, and then pull away, and it's not perfect, but that's okay, because that's what you want, is that little imperfect kind of distressy, you know, like the old time photographs. And now I'm going to come this way on this side as well. And we're going to do the same thing. Wonk. And now I have deckling on two edges, because I'm going to do something else to the other paper. I'm going to distress the paper I'm putting on top as well. Now here, what I always do, one thing I learned about when you're putting in pockets on anything, whether it's a card, whether it's an album, I always do the bottom flap first. I don't put glue on both, because that, you know, you're under more pressure to maneuver straight. All you do is just do one. Do one first, and don't make it hard for yourself. This one's still... Okay, so I'm gonna glue this one down first, because I want to. So take, and just put glue down here. Away we go. Just a, you know, generous amount to make sure. Here's where it does come in handy that I have some maneuvering time. Where's my pen? Where's my pen? Where's my pen? There's my pen. I'll do that. Whoop. Okay. As the glue dries. And I just want to line it up here. So I want to line it along the bottom, but I also want to make sure that that side is aligned right. So, and that's it. And then press. And I've got one. And then I will go ahead and do this one. What the heck, right? Tend to do both and then do the sides, but let's, you know, let's just go crazy and, you know, go off my usual habits. There we go. Put that in there so the glue does not dry and clog this little tiny hole. There you go. So I've now got one done. Now I'm going to do the same thing with the left side. Now I've got this. I've got this done so far. So now I am ready to put paper to cover these. So, and I want to show you, this is something that I've done. I've already got everything done. All my ephemera is already in here. This, guys, is a box from Michael's. These are the display boxes from Michael's. So when I went through there, when I was showing you guys my deal, when I went shopping and I was clearing them up, I think this is the one. Remember all those all those blue and white cards? They were in here. So I just lifted the whole box. They threw these away. So I double checked. You guys are cool with me taking, oh yeah, take them. So I have several. I mean, there's one and a little bit bigger, but it makes a perfect project box, a perfect thing to organize whatever you're using. So that's what I have it for. Hello, it was free. If it gets messed up, that's okay. It was free. Go back and, you know, go back to the Michael's sale. So here are the other ones. Oh, I still have one to put together, so I take it back. I did have one to assemble. But here I've already got everything I need already pre-cut for the next step. These, and I will tell you, I already pre-cut these from the paper, and it took, I wasted more, I used up more paper to do it with what I wanted to do here than I might have otherwise, and I don't know. But these, my panels for front and back, are cut at, let's see, folder panels 4 and 13/16, okay, by 6 3/4. So this weighs 4, 13/16, so that's 3 little cashies in from the 5-inch mark on the ruler, and then 6 3/4 this way. The pockets I had cut to at 3 by 4 and 5/8. So anyway, as I told you, I wanted to do something with this paper before, because now all I have to do literally is glue it down. But I wanted to add, again, a little bit of visual interest. So what am I going to do? I'm going to distress it. I'm going to grab my little Tim Holtz distressing tool. I don't want to go too, because this is, you know, this is really going to be shabby chic, though. I don't want to go too big on the shab and be more chicy. But I want to do this, and I'm still debating as I'm sitting here talking to you. I'm thinking in the back of my head, do I want to ink these edges or not? And if I do ink them, what color am I going to ink? Do I have a pretty pink? Do I ink it in a deeper pink? Do I want to distress it in a brown? I think I'm going to go look in a minute. I'm going to go through my Tim Holtz's and see what I've got. So, okay, so you saw me do one. Give me a second. I'm going to come back and I'm going to do all of the other ones. Okay, you don't need to see me do this all on camera. Be right back. All right, I am ready to distress. I went into my inks. I pulled out a worn lipstick in my distress inks. And I don't know if you've seen this. This is a trick I got. I forget from whom, either a YouTuber or a friend, but I take my little inks, and what I do with the little guys is this is a piece of duct tape. This is just one I chose that I got a little thin piece, and you just put it on here. So now you open it up and you don't have to go crazy looking for your lid. It stays right there attached with it, so it's always there together. So I mean, if you have a problem with keeping your lids together, but I decided I'm going to go ahead and pink up the edges a bit. I just wanted to. I wanted to add a little tiny bit of pretty distressing to it. I haven't inked edges in quite a while, but I thought it would make a little bit added contrast here. So here is all my little add, just a little bit, just all the way around the edge, just quickly. But I am going to go ahead and do all 4 pieces, the two inside, and then the 2 panels that go on the outside. Not going to go too nuts, but I do want it to be noticeable. And I like it. I'm really glad I went ahead and made the decision, and I knew exactly what color to pick. That doesn't happen often, guys. People don't think I'm all that and, a package of paper. I'm not. It's just one of those moments I feel like it was meant to be, because I knew exactly what color. I'm like, okay, do I have it? Do I have more lipstick in the distress? But I like that. I like that, excuse me, added contrast. So let me get all the other 4 inked up. Okay, I am so glad that I decided to ink this up. It just, to me, added that more just feminine, romantic, I don't know, feel, whatever. I'm really glad I made a decision for that, because now all I have to do now, I'm ready to glue these panels down, and then I got to decide. I have an idea for a little added embellishment, because I don't want to do too much, because I tend towards overkill. I mean, to me, I'm the more is better kind of girl. But now all I'm going to do the inside ones first. I'm going to glue these panels down or adhere them. Okay, I want to make sure they're right side up. So I'm going to grab Big Mama now that I have tape in her once again. Yay! And it is working really, really well. I see very little difference between this and my 3M. And it is significantly less expensive. It's, okay, let's call it what it is. Cheaper! Right? It still works. I'm still, and I just really love Big Mama. She is, I felt so strange using all the little guys, although I still have them and I should use them up. Really, and or make them go away and maybe, send them away. I have no idea. Okay, so that's one side. So that's one. For right now, here we have a folder. So I will go ahead now and do the same to the other 4, and then let's see what we do with the added embellishment, because this is pretty much done, other than if I want to add something to it, and I do. So hang on, I'll be right back. Okay, so when I left you, I already had in my idea. I was percolating what I wanted to do, and I got a little ahead of myself. I'm sorry, I forgot that I wasn't even on camera. I'm thinking, and I really got impulsive, but I knew I wanted to put something here. And I grabbed these cards, so I went to the back of the pad, because in the back I still have, remember I have all these sheets, and we have these sheets, which are the cut aparts, which you would see them in the 12 by 12s, but I'm using the little ones. So these little guys. So I took a sheet out and cut them all up, and I knew this was the one. This is the one I remembered there being one that was a swan. I roughed it up just a tiny bit. I did not want to make it as rough here, and then I inked it up. I'm telling you what I did. I am sorry that I did it off camera. Forgive me. I promise to sin no more. I'll do something else instead. Trust me. I'll think of something. That's just how I roll. The only thing, I'm still trying to think of whether I want to dimensionalize it a little bit. And you know what I'm kind of doing is maybe doing a combo dimension. So do I have my tape? Yeah, I have my little tape here. You know, my little Ziploc bag. We're going to use some of these. What I'm going to do, because these are a little bit skinnier, is I'm going to put some dimensionals right across the top here. I want to pop it up just a little bit, but not the entire thing. Let me pull some of these apart because they've kind of overlapped. I don't know what happened there. There was some mass confusion amongst themselves. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put some tape right here. So, and then, oh, wait a minute. If I'm going to glue this down, do you think maybe I should remove the tape? Okay, let's grab, I don't know why I'm grabbing this because I do much better with the tweezer, but there you go. It seemed what was handy. Okay, there we go. Let's do this. And let's just, I'm just going to put it a little bit cattywampus. Kind of here. We'll drop it down. We'll drop it down below here. Go that down and then there. And there we go. I've got a little bit here. I want to do something here. I haven't thought that out. Haven't gotten that far in the process yet. But, and then I want to do my paper clip, but I have an idea. So let me work that up and I'll be right back, okay? Okay, I have figured out a game plan. So I thought it through. I slept on it, I'll admit, I confess. And I now know what I'm going to do for the front cover and for the hidden, why can't I not say it? The hidden distress paper clip. So anyway, that's neither here nor there. I've already put in this part here, but I wanted to put something in here unobtrusive, like a heart or something. And then I discovered this from, let me turn it this way, from the last Elizabeth craft sale. I told you when she had a bunch of stuff for $1. So I bought this for $1 and look, there it is. So it's being added literally right now to the basket of dies and stuff like that I have to work on for Valentine's things. And I'm like, it's perfect because I wanted to put something not overly, like in your face because it's such pretty paper. So we're going to do, and I don't do this always, but I know that there are new subscribers here who do not know how I glue layers together. Blah, blah, blah. Pardon me while I, stammer. And of course I have all kinds of missing tweezers. And today I've got to get through this because then I've got to pack up the desk to go to my sister's for a week. So hopefully, I'm hoping in that rigmarole, I'm going to find my missing tweezers. Because now not only is my bent neck one missing, but now the straight one also is missing. Otherwise, I guess I'm buying new ones. And then, of course, they'll all turn up. Because that's how it rolls. But I just put down, as you notice, I just put down a puddle of glue on my mat. I know there's all kinds of other techniques like drawing on the back of that. I don't have the patience for that, people. Very rarely. And then I just lay it down one on top of the other. I'll pick it up here. And generally, if you just line up one spot, I go to the far left and line it up. Everything just literally practically lines up all by itself. What I will say, when you press it down, go easy. I have moved. It will, if you go, just, flat out fast. Don't do it. Take the couple of seconds and have a little bit of patience, which is something I don't necessarily have in spades. I'm just not. I am notoriously impatient. That gets me into plenty of trouble. But there you go. There you have it. And I'm going, so I just layer one on top of the other. I just put it in my little puddle of glue. And yes, obviously I have wasted glue. But I'm telling you, I'm working still off of the original. I already used up the original bottle when I got this last year in like March or April of 2020. I still haven't used up all of the refill. I still probably have at least one more bottle's worth of refill before I have to get another refill. So I'm like, it's not going to kill me. I'm using my Barely Art glue because it just gives me that widget time. So here it is. It is glued down. But I usually do just 3 layers. Just enough to give it that little bit of dimension. And then, oh no, wait. I cleaned up my puddle. I'm such an idiot. Why you guys put up with me? I forgot. I need another puddle because I still need now to glue it onto my folder. You see? I'm telling you. I am worth my weight in entertainment value, I hope. And if nothing else, I make you feel better for making other mistakes. Because trust me, there ain't nothing I haven't done multiple times. I am a repeat offender. All right, so let's just now pick up glue because put in a lot less because in a minute I'm about to wipe it all off. But it'll be enough to get this glue down onto that little folder. So now let me pull that mat away out of the way, and I'm just going to lay it down. And my plan was to do just that, just not there. This is why I try to use the tweezers, because it'll tend to stick to your fingers. And there you go. And now I am done decorating the inside of this folder. So now all I have to do is finish. So give me a couple. I'm going to die cut my pieces here. I've already done some of it. You can see there. And I need to grab my paper to do the hidden paper clip, because I'm choosing it. We don't have to. We just have to do an altered paper clip, but I like the look of the hidden paper clip. So I'm doing a hidden paper clip. So give me a second. I'll be right back. So yeah, I knew better than to start videotaping before he had left, because I knew he was coming in close on having to leave to go to work. And there you go, because that would have made sense. It was the logical thing to do. Heaven forbid that I channel my inner Spock and do something logical. So anyway, we are going to go ahead, and I have several of these, so I may just take a minute. You know what? In fact, I will, because I have a folder that I can fit several hearts in. So let me set this aside for a second. And let's see, I can do two comfortably. Let's not push our luck here, okay? So I can do two of them. So all I got to do, and here, that's the lovely thing with the marquee, when you've got embossing folders, you can just run through the embossing folder. And it does just fine. Do not, I have heard that you can run a 3D through the marquee. I have also heard that Diamond Press says, yeah, don't do it. And I'm of the school that, yeah, don't do it. If you have another one, I mean, I can run 3Ds through my Empress or through Old Faithful. So let's just be safe, just, play it. But definitely your regular embossing folders go straight through real nice through the marquee. So we're just doing all of them right now, just because it's going to take me, 10 seconds longer. And there you go. I waste your time with all kinds of other inanities of mine. So why not this? This at least makes sense. Okay, now we have all the hearts I need for the rest of the folders that I need to finish assembling, because this is a swap, so I have to make 4. Plus this one. So now we've got this. I'm going to go back to my mat, because I have cut out, as you can tell on the left and to the left, I think, because I am all over the place with this mat. So there we go. I try to keep this as I know I'm in focus here. So I've got all of these loves that I'm going to glue together. So I'm going to come back to this, because this guy, now I wonder if I want to do that same little trick. There's a part of me that, yes, I'm going to do that same little trick I did. Where's my little plastic bag? I put everything. See, the problem is that I put things away and then I sabotage myself by being with organization. Imagine that. And this is a hot mess. I don't know how it happened. We're going to see how many of these we can pull off. Let's see if we can make any of this work. Yes, that one I can. Okay. So we're just going to put right on top here, just to give it a little pop-up. I don't want to create too much, because we have been asked not to make them too overly dimensional. And then there's me, who seems to always be determined to not do what I'm told. That's gotten me into great trouble in life. And here's the thing. I have my middle daughter, God love her, is the most like her mother. And I always tell her, you know what, that's not always a good thing. And I see her saying and doing things, and I'm hearing myself in the past. And I'm like, oh, child, I've already been there. Don't do it. Trust me, it isn't going to end pretty. It's like, okay, I'm done with those. Okay, it's trash. Go away. So, and it's funny. And we all have those. You're always going to find, it's like, I tell her, I go, you are the most like me. And let me tell you what's not going to work. Been there, done that. Take my word for it. Where's Big Mama? Where's she supposed to be? Because heaven forbid I would look where she is. So I'm going to be very disoriented next week, when I start doing this stuff at my sister's, because it'll all be, it'll not be, I'll be, you know, wanting to look for it where it normally is. That's the hardest part about where I'm gone, like now. For a crop, it's almost easy. 2-pack 4. You didn't watch the Big Mama just to turn a somersault, literally, and just pack what I need to go, because I have learned, and it's taken me a long time to learn to only pack like a couple of projects, because there's always be something I'll buy there and I'll want to work on it. So I have learned I'll bring maybe 2 and the reasonable amount of supplies, and there you go. I've gotten down to where I would bring a huge, I mean, I've seen people that, I have gone to expos, I kid you not, and I've worked them, where I've seen women walk in with their chairs, with their entire scrapbook. I saw I saw one woman walk in with a Keurig. A Keurig. Okay, I'm like, wow. Okay, enough chitter chatter. I'm sorry. So you saw what I did. I just put tape here on the bottom right here, and then 3-dimensional, so it'll pop up. 3 of my little pop-up guys, so I will pop it down here. I wanted a little bit on an angle, and it will stay right here, and then these guys. So my heart has a little, just a little tiny lift that will make me happy. And now I'm going to take my love, and remember I put my mat away, and I've done this now twice today, because I still have to do the gluey thing, and I'm just going to take it like, my plan is, I mean, just a slight overlap, or maybe right here. What do you guys think? You know, do I want to overlap it? Oh my gosh, I'm so friggin' indecisive. If I was going to do that, I do, then, oh God, help me. Let's see, guys. Can I do this? Yes. Can I peel this off? Yeah, I didn't press on it too hard. So there are, well, this one's coming up because the foam is staying there. I could feel it. Yep, the foam is there. So let's see. And we'll put the foam back. Okay. So this is another object lesson, and don't do what I do. Do what I say. And I forgot to tell you, I apologize for this because I used the one that I had. So let me stop for a second, because one thing I didn't show you is that I went through with my, where it is, my Distress Ink with it, who has now a new piece of duct tape, because that one was getting really just sticky. And I just went around the edges. So I just went around the edges just to distress it a little tiny peak. I thought about literally taking my Tim Holtz tool, but I don't know how well it would work on this, because this cardstock is, I don't know if you can tell, it's pearlized cardstock. I have never tried to distress in that way. That kind of cardstock, I don't know if it would work well. So I know maybe we'll grab a piece of paper, just a scrap piece I just threw in the trash, and let's try to distress it and see what the look is. And then maybe I'll do it to the other 3 there, because now I can't, well, I even could do it to this one. But you see, that's all I did. I just, and in fact, I like that one better than the one I just did. Maybe I want to go for it some more. Because I'm that kind of a nut. There we go. Oh, you guys put up with me. I don't know why. Other than because you guys are some kinds of a nut. And in that case, yay, you're my people. Alrighty. We're going to go back in here now, and I'm going to kind of touch it down. I've not laid it down because I really do want to overlap, but I want it to be the right amount. So that looks really good. I am way happier with that. So now so now we will press. We have committed, and now we will come back. Where is that? Let's grab glue right here. Look, we're going to do this again. That should be plenty of glue, but let me spread that out a little bit. Yeah. Yep. Let me put my little thingamajigger back in so that this doesn't become clogged. Although it will, because everybody tells me, I talk to people all the time that have these things and they don't get clogged. I get clogged, but then, you know, I'm special. You know, like kind of like short butts special. Yeah, that's me. And there we go. So I just dip it down. Elvis, I'm watching here from a corner of my eye, was taking a drink out of the beta tank because they treat it as a fountain, because it's like a cascading. And he saw the beta just kind of flutter, and he's like, ooh, look. But he doesn't eat them. I swear he wants to play with them, but the beta's like, yeah, no, I'm addicted. I'm here. You can't get me. Neener, neener, neener. Okay. And there we go. Now I've got this all, and I don't have to necessarily worry about the glue sticking out, although I'll probably just nip it here because, again, Barely Art glue dries not only clear, but it dries matte. That's the important thing. So because I have other glues that dry clear, but they glue dry shiny, so you can still see it. Now let me pick up my puddle. Got a little left over. And then we'll fold this up. And I'll just set it here to the side. And now we're ready to work on this, guys. So let me clear the mess here for a second, and we'll come back and we're going to start this, and that is it. Then the rest of it is just stuffing it. Okay, give me a second.